All right, I'm here with Marlen Esparza. You're making your pro debut.
I am.
It's been years since we've seen each other, so
Yeah,
let's
it's
catch
like
up a little bit.
yeah, it's been like a good at least 3 years at
Yeah,
least. Yeah,
yeah. So let's back up a little bit. You didn't go to the second
I
Olympics.
didn't. I didn't get to Rio.
Yeah, I mean I don't like to just right off the bat bring up bad memories,
It's okay.
but
I'm all right.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, what do I say? I was winning everything as usual, and then at trials, I just got two really bad decisions against somebody that I beat 7 times. Um,
man.
it was very strange, and then the girl that won didn't qualify for the games, so there was no contestant at my weight class in Rio. USA Boxing just was over me.
Do you think in some ways you dodged a bullet though, considering all the anti-doping stuff that went on and what kind of a mess it seemed like the Olympics were in terms of publicity? Maybe I was focusing on that stuff
Yeah,
as
I
I
wouldn't
did.
say it was the best Olympics so far, but I wouldn't necessarily call it dodging, but bullet because it really was like hard to handle. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm kind of grateful for the most part, just because I wouldn't have ever decided to do this if I didn't get to the games. I think the games was something I was looking for to kind of finish it off, and since I didn't get it, I'm still super hungry to like box. I still want to box, and given the way me and USA Boxing are set up, our relationship isn't the best. So my only choice was to go pro, and now that I'm actually here doing it, I've like boxing again. Like I'm finally in love with boxing again, and it feels really good to be in the situation.
'Cause politics can really take, and the business end can really sap the passion end of things, right?
Yeah, it was harsh. I mean, I never thought that the two together would really kill off my spirit for that for boxing because it's just what I love to do. But given the circumstances and what happened, it really did take a toll on my spirit for the sport. And now that I'm away from anything bad and I'm kind of still doing what I do, and then entering a new game, which I like things that are very difficult, and this is really difficult. So because of that, I'm enjoying myself and I'm happy about it.
What's been the biggest part? This is a major transition from that pro game, which is one kind of game, to, or the amateur game, which is one game, to the pro game.
Yeah,
What do
I think
you?
the transition is the hardest part. I'm more worried about the actual transition from the amateurs to the pros than I am about the actual fighting right now. I know that I need to change my style a little bit more and just settle down just a little bit, which I have a really good idea of how to get that done, in increments. But I think that that's what it gets me so nervous is the actual thought of that it's just a change. And the structure is different. How you proceed is different. I thought it was going to be really structured, and it's not as structured as I thought it was going to be. The idea of the program, I thought it was going to have, it was going to be very A, B, C, D, like down the line. And it's
Yeah.
not like that at all. It's just kind
No.
of like you get thrown into the fire. And I didn't expect that at all. And so now I'm really excited to kind of find my way and find the structure within the program, and what are my regimens, who's my team going to be, what am I about. I get to finally be myself in front of people, because I usually was just labeled, have my endorsements, and I have the things that people saw in that nature, but I would never actually get to be myself really, or talk about any of my opponents or anything like that. So it's fun for me in that way, that people actually get to know me now versus just labeling me as what they want to. So I'm excited about that.
And as much of a mess as amateur boxing is, particularly in this country, it's still more structured, right? There's still more people to be beholden to. Is that what you mean? There's more of an organization around you?
Yeah, I would say when it comes to the amateurs, and also because I was in there for so long, but it's a lot more structured than the pro game, just because there's rules. This is what you have to win, and after you win that, this is what you have to win next, and
Right.
this is the idea of what countries are the best ones. You know the tournaments that matter and the tournaments that people just go to for experience. But I wouldn't. It's not that way here. It's every fight does matter. Losing is a huge deal. Whether you can't just like look. You can't look bad in front of someone. You win anyway. If you were gonna dominate, you have to dominate. It's not like, oh, well, you won the fight, but you look bad. It doesn't matter. Like, they still judge you on round per round.
Yeah.
I think this I'm starting to feel that the pro game is more on a round per round thing. Like it's not, you're not as good as your last fight, you're as good as your last round. You know, like you end a fight on a bad note doesn't really say much about your win. So I would say it's a little bit more judgmental than I'm used to, and it's not as structured. So it's kind of like you have to find what you're about, what you want, and then it's whatever you want it to be. It's different for sure.
You're a truly independent contractor in that if you don't tend to your career, it'll go away and there'll be somebody else, and that's how the sport. It's kind of like the acting industry in a sense. You're always just kind of on your own, and whatever you get, it's based on your work.
Exactly.
It's kind of scary.
It is scary. It's you're your own entity, and if you don't pay attention to your business and how you're running it, then it's gonna fall real quick. Like you have to make sure you pay your mortgage every month. You're not just gonna sit there doing nothing. So it's different, but I like the idea of it. It keeps my mind active, and I'm not bored. I haven't been excited about a fight in, I can't even remember the last time I was excited about a fight. Like I was so used to, okay, this is what I do. I just get in the ring and I keep training and I get in the ring. But now I have to pay attention to the small stuff. Like I don't want to get hit with anything that I don't need to get hit with. Like those types of things that actually, kind of keep me really wired are here again. So it's been good, but it's been different.
What do you know about your opponent?
I don't know much about her. I know that she has an MMA background, and she would lose a lot then, and then she went pro, and she has 2 fights, and she has 2 losses, but she's left-handed. And
do you have a lot of experience with southpaws? I
mean, from boxing for so long, I do have a lot of experience with southpaws. They're not my favorite at all.
No one's favorite.
I hate them, but I know she doesn't have a lot of experience, so I don't know what's going to bother me more, her being left-handed or her being kind of green, because they throw their punches a little bit different. If you have a really good fighter, I know exactly probably what you're going to do, but it's the people that are kind of green that throw you off, because you're like, why'd you throw that? Like, you're supposed to be throwing this punch. So I don't know what's going to bother me more. And right now I'm just thinking that I just need to make sure that if she's wild, just try to keep her calm and kind of see what works. And then if she's already calm herself and not as crazy as I think, well, then I can, at that point, probably be more aggressive. But I don't know much about her.
What brought you to Golden Boy? I know you were kind of making a choice between which promotional companies you wanted to go with. You're very marketable. People know who you are. Yeah. So it was a big deal to turn pro. Why Golden Boy?
I actually chose Golden Boy because they seemed like that they cared more about my actual career than I realized that they did. All promoters, and basically if you go into any business, before you actually get pinpointed somewhere, everyone's gonna do the most to try to get you.
Sure.
But giving into that process, anytime I wanted something changed, anytime I had I didn't really like the sound of something, or I wanted something brand new that no one's really ever talked about, they were less hesitant than anybody to really help me. So I didn't have any problems with my contract, getting anything changed. I didn't have to call an attorney till like the very end just to check everything.
Oh, wow.
But there was no arguments. It was just if I wanted something, everybody was kind of the same, but they were just I could just tell it wasn't. They did it because they felt like they had to do it. It wasn't like they wanted to do it. They weren't on the same page with me mentally as what I feel like I can do for the sport of women's boxing. I feel like I have a lot to bring to it. I feel like I could sell a lot of tickets. I feel like it could be a huge thing. And I feel like Golden Boy was more on my page than anybody else.
At their core, they're the only one that has a fighter that's running the business, or that's the core of their business.
Yeah.
Does that make a difference too?
It did make a difference, I think. I think especially because how Oscar got Golden Boy promotions and how he sold himself as well. I mean, he was huge and he was really attractive. He knew how to sell himself to both the male and female viewers, and I feel that it did have a big deal on that aspect where they could kind of see the commercial end and also noticed that I could fight. I think a lot of people were just thinking, oh, she's really commercial, but not really paying attention to the fact that they're still going to sell me as a fighter. And I think Golden Boy did the best job at kind of still focusing on the fighting part, but not forgetting that there's a lot that I can do.
Have you been to this venue before?
I haven't.
Indio? Oh,
No,
I practically grew up there. It's my whole family's from down there, but it's a great little fight town.
Is it?
And that venue is going to have a lot of Mexican fight fans. That's going to be really exciting, I imagine, to be in front of that kind of demographic and to be pit in that kind of environment right off the bat.
Yeah, I haven't been there, but I've heard a lot about it, and every time I mention it, everyone's like, "Oh yeah," and I've heard of it before, but I've never been there. I'm excited about it. I'm nervous, which is a good thing, and I think they've told me that the background and everything that's there, and the majority of people that come up to those fights are Hispanic, and I'm excited about that too because I need people to actually recognize me as a fighter at this point.
Right. Are you what is your ethnicity?
Mexican.
You're Mexican.
Yeah.
Mexican. Okay.
Yeah. My dad's from Sinaloa and my mom's from Juarez.
Oh, right on. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you're you're first generation then.
Yeah.
And you're bilingual as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when cameras are on, I don't talk so well, but I can understand everything and then I speak. But I'm practicing now still.
Yeah, I'm still.
Yeah, my communication is not on point all the time.
yeah. Actually, I understand it as I grew up around it, but they wanted us to be quote unquote American. So
yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. So my dad didn't know English till I was like 11.
Oh wow.
So I grew up in the house with like English and Spanish because my mom is fluent in both. And then when I would go to school, it was all English. They wanted to put us in English classes. And then I would come back speaking Spanish. And then along the way, it kind of like trickled down. So my sister's completely fluent. My older brother's a little bit better than me. And then my little brother's a little bit worse than me. So kind of just...
Yeah, that's kind of our spectrum as well. Yeah. That's really funny. Who did you... are you both... Nicola and you are in the same weight class?
No, I'm weighing in at 110.
Oh.
She's weighing in at like I think 115.
Okay.
Because she walks around like 125, 127. I walk around like 119.
Okay. Did you guys work together for this fight?
Yeah, we do. But what we do is more technical. Like when we work together, it's all tech. But when we spar, we have to spar with guys because we both prefer it. It's just preferable. Like there's just no point. Yeah.
Well, is it because there's kind of a wide disparity in talent level or skill level with among female fighters, or is it just a little bit tougher with the guys?
It's a lot harder with the guys. So I think we might give each other a good session, but it's not. I'd rather like have a guy because it's just a lot more difficult, and I can take it a lot more serious than I can. So it's like, oh, I just feels weird when I hit her. Like, oh, sorry, because we're so cool now. But and we never fought in the amateurs, which is strange as well. But when we practice, we'll do tech and stuff for speed drills, but we won't. If we go like full on sparring, then we'll just spar with guys.
Where did you do the majority of your prep? Was it here?
Here in at Virgil's gym, so SNC and cardio and we do Remy as well, but here we do the SNC and all the hypoxia training and all that, and then a lot of more of the boxing and stuff was done at Virgil's gym.
I was laughing at looking at some of the old footage because you were like one of the test pilots for the original hypoxic stuff at the Undisputed, and they had like Victor back there holding a tube and you were on the mitts. How about this gym?
Yeah, this gym's amazing. It's funny because I knew the hypoxia machine better than Baz did. Like, I would have to tell him and teach him how to do it. And then now I come back and there's like this whole... And now Baz is telling me things I have no idea what he's talking about. So it's pretty cool, but this gym is like... It really helps, and it's a lot easier than having, like, if I don't feel like cooking up everything and sprinting on that, then I can just go into the dome and work out in the dome, and it's the same difference. And then now with the oxygen one, that one works a lot. Have you tried that?
The active recovery tent? Yeah. You can feel the difference, right?
Yeah, and I had a head, like, if I have a headache or something, if I go in there, then I'll feel fine. It's really strange, yeah. Do
you feel the difference in the sparring, too, with all this stuff?
It helps a lot. I recover a lot faster now. Mm-hmm. I don't get tired, not now at least. I probably don't think I'm going to get tired for a while, but I can tell the difference a lot, and my recovery time is like 20 seconds or something. I don't even need a whole minute.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it works.
Last thing, it's a different world for, like, I remember, Ann Wolfe was big and Christy Martin, but it was kind of like Riker. A star here. Yeah, Lucia Riker, but it was not full blown. It didn't seem. It was kind of like if you were looking for it, you'd find it. Ronda Rousey kind of changed the game, I think, with MMA, made it more popular. Holly Holm as well, who's really great to watch. Do you think right now is the right time to turn pro as a female?
I definitely. I don't think if it was a different situation.
And Clarissa Shields too.
Yeah, I don't think if it was a different situation, I would have been so aggressive with the idea of going pro, because I really did try to I was aggressive with it. I did take my time and I was patient, but I really was like, okay, this needs to be done this year, because then I need to still get into the fight mode, still get everything done. I still want to have a few fights before the year ends.
Sure.
And it was because of that, because I do think it's a good time. I think men are more open to the ideas in the sport, given the fact that Ronda did make so much money, and people did respect her and people did want to watch her. I think because of that, a lot of the girls are getting more attention. You have people that's been fighting and they're acting like they're brand new, like Heather Hardy, and that's they've been around. Where have you guys been? So I think that now that they're looking for the people to kind of bring up the women's side of boxing. I feel that, this is definitely a good time to kind of get your name and your face in there, because someone's going to take off hard. Someone's going to take off. And it's just who the people take to. So could be Clarissa, could be Heather Hardy, could be anybody, but whoever people take to is who they take to. And I for sure will know by the end of the year, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.